Peace, YouTube. This is Flo
There's
Boone.
one simple secret
Oh,
everyone who has
hold
a
on.
narcissist in their life needs
Oh,
to
a
know. It doesn't
narcissist.
matter.
Peace, YouTube. This is Flo Boone coming to you this evening. I'm a little preempt, a little messy. It's past my bed hour. Well, it's not past my bed hour, but I'm normally not on here this early. Hopefully, you can hear me. Oh, as I'm here using earphones, let's see if you can actually hear me. I guess hopefully you can hear me with my earphones. Hold on. Okay. So peace to the east, the west, the north, and the south. This is Fleur Brune coming for a just a touch base with what's going on in. Oh, you can hear me. Perfect. What's going on in lower and upper Manhattan right now? Right now, we seem to have a cyber, what could be a cyber preempt. We have lower and upper Manhattan that are affected right now. We have some foot soldiers that are actually giving some personable, hey, Jose, how are you doing? What's going on with you? You're uptown. Do you have electricity? A lot of places are getting their electricity back. It started off with subways losing electricity. And now it is only a few places that still are without electricity in Manhattan. Again, this was in lower and upper Manhattan. Big up to Shan on IG, who also notified us that even though in the Bronx they weren't affected, supposedly there were people that were unable to get any, to utilize the ATMs. So, yeah, so just make sure for those, this is just to touch base for those. So, sending loving, protective, resourceful energies to all of our family in New York City. I also have some other intel that I will bring in as everyone checks in. So let me let a few people check in first. Again, for those checking in now, we had what looks like to be perhaps a preempt, hey Cadillac, a preempt cyber attack. That could be a cyber attack from an outer source. Now, from the intel that I've gotten from an outer source, this looks to be like a cyber attack from an outer perimeter, meaning that, according to the intel, this is not something that's happening from the internal, it's happening from the external, meaning that perhaps this is from one of the many nations, that the United States of America have pissed off and that are, preempting war. Remember, we're having so many beefs right now that you have Iran, who could be a plausible component in this. You have Venezuela, who we are still bullying. We have China, which, with the tariff wars going on, could any time just shut it all down. They have the technology to do it. And they have North Korea, who we just like to poke like a bear. And they just, for like war games purposes, just would do something just to see if they could, cause any effect. And then you have a sleeping giant like Russia, who with Syria have been plotting and planning our demise for the longest time. Then you have the Chinese government that has set up shop on every one of the coasts outside of the United States of America. So it could be any possibility right now of a couple of couple of places, nations that could have possibly just been poking to see now. Big up to also Rohan. Big up to Rohan, who's on his way to work right now. We were also discussing that if many of you remember in 2001, thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Lakeem Muhammad. I appreciate it. If anybody remembers in Manhattan in July, many of us, I was still in the city. So July 2001, if you were back then or you heard about it, we did have a blackout then. It was for a short period of time. Many who are in New York City would remember that. Some people were stuck downtown. Some people couldn't get home. I think it lasted a couple of hours. Okay. But if you remember, in 2001, I think it was July or August. I'm not sure if it was summertime because I was downtown at the time. So it was summertime, either July or August. But if you remember, that was 2 months or 2.5 months or 1 month previous to the 9/11. Okay. Someone said, what did you say? Kay said she can't wait until the world ends. Oh no, Kaya said that. Well, just the world as they know it ends and our world begins. I'm okay with the dark Kabbalist world ending and concaving out like it's doing now, but we want all of our animals and the trees and the life on the planet that's cohesive with Mother Gaia to be intact and happy and thriving. Let me read some comments here. Okay, New York had a blackout in 2003. Oh, was I wrong? It wasn't 2001? I swore it was 2001. Wait, I got married. I have to remember when I got married. So I got married in 2000. Oh, maybe it was 2003. Okay, so I'm wrong. My bad. Take it back. So it was not preempt 9/11. I could have sworn it was 2001. There wasn't something in 2001 previous to 9/11? I have to remember that. There was something in Manhattan that time. We have to look that up because I'm almost sure that previous to that, because I remember moving at the same time a couple months before the 9/11 happened, and I was in Manhattan meeting with a friend, a family member, no, matter of fact, a family member, and it was a blackout. No, I got married in 2000. Yeah, it was in 2000. Yes, 2-day blackout. You remember that, Jose? Okay. Jose, I think you remember that, right? Jose, was it in 2003 or was it in 2001? Your mom was on a ferry and she got stuck. Oh, thank you, Hakeem Muhammad. I appreciate it. Thank you, love. Someone do a fact check, please. There was a blackout in 2013. Yeah, there was one in 1977. I wasn't, I wasn't around for that one. New York had a blackout 42 years ago to the date. Yes. Oh, interesting. Oh, that's what. Okay. Thank you for that. 240. Okay. So we've got, hold on. We have Candy Goddess. Thank you, Candy Goddess. New York had a blackout 42 years ago to the date, July 13th, 1977. Thank you for that. 13th or the 14th. Thank you for that. 2 days, right? All right. Interesting that we're going back in time to the 80s, and I think we might have hit the 70s. Wouldn't it be interesting? Because remember, we had the concept that we were going back into the 80s, and we're actually, and I said we might be going in reverse, and all the 80s music and everything showing up, and then all of a sudden a blackout that's reminiscent of one to the date in July shows up at the ending of the 70s. I mean, call it chance. I don't like talking with these in my ear. I don't like talking. I know you guys can you hear me well? I don't like talking with it makes me feel weird to not be able to hear. The new American Horror Story is supposed to be based in the 80s. We're back in time. We're like back to the future. We were talking about that everything is reminiscent of the 80s. I've confirmed and I've kind of just accepted that we've gone back into the 80s, even though I don't have my, I was talking last night. The only thing that I wanted was my K-Swiss, some white K-Swiss from the 80s. I wanted some, I can't fit on Jordache jeans, nor do I want to. But let's go back to the blackout right now. So now we have a blackout in Manhattan. It's still undergoing. Now there are ATM machines not working. What I was suggesting, and this is why I wanted to make the broadcast, is whenever you have something like that, and our family is very, very well aware and equipped. But one of the things I want you to be proactive, which many of you know, you should always have flashlights, obviously. Most of you do, but for some of our preppers, we like to carry flashlights with us, either on our keychains or in our pockets or our pocketbooks. Make sure your phone is fully charged, because the one thing in blackouts, when there's no electricity, you forget you can't charge your phone. So make sure that you're not utilizing your phone to listen to this podcast right now of me talking about a blackout. Make sure you have your phones fully charged. I was telling some people to go and get some money out of the banks, because one of the banks, I think it was Rohan actually gave me the name. I forgot the first bank that was not working. I'm assuming it's a few ATMs that aren't working. Make sure you have a little cash on you. It always makes sense to have, you know how your grandmother used to keep all the money and hide it from your grandfather underneath the pillow or inside the mattress. Do you remember that? The old schoolers like to hide their money. So just have a couple, you get an adapter for your cigarette lighter. Yes, very good for the cars. Just make sure, or and Granny had it in her brassiere, right? Remember when your grandmother used to always take her money out of, at least mine did. We come from a busty family. Money was always in the brassieres. She'd take that extra 20 or that 10 out of her bra and give it to you and tell you don't have to bring the change back sometimes. Anyway, hold on. You have a power bank? Okay. Yes. A lot of people, I'm not saying, first of all, obviously we're on a social media network. So I'm just telling you, I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm saying you should always have money on stash. Just some cash enough to fill up the car with gas, even though gas pumps won't work. But always in case something, anything pops off, you should always have your gas tank full, or at least over half a tank in your truck or in your car. Also, you should always know your direction. So if anything pops off for our New Yorkers, you should know what direction to go in. You should have a map, street map, because remember, Google's not going to work for you if everything goes down. If anything pops off, remember, you're going to have to go walking. Do you want to walk towards the Brooklyn Bridge? Do you want to walk towards the Manhattan? Do you want to stay away from the bridges? Do you want to go towards Westchester County and go further upstate towards Bear Mountain? I always tell you, those in New York, yes, the Atlas maps are the bomb.com, and they have the little miniature ones. You should have a map, and you should have already mapped out exit points. Whenever you're on an island, this is just a FYI to all of us, all of you guys who are living on little islands or little spaces, you should always have exit points. Because obviously the safest place to go if you're having ever like a blackout in the city or in any small space situation is to have to know how to get to higher ground. In case of a tsunami or anything like that, chances are in New York you're not going to see that. But if you did, you should know to go towards Bear Mountain, and you should know what route. You should know what roads you should take, walking and driving or riding a bike. Okay, so you should always be prepared for the best and the worst of anything. And many of you already have your water bottle filters. That's all you need. All you need is a flashlight, some good 80s sneakers, those thick kicks like LA Gear, some Fila sneakers. Don't wear the bell bottoms from the 70s. If you start wearing bell bottoms, I know we already hit the 70s. You should have all your medicine. Thank you, Kay. So if you take anything, if you have grandpa, family members have insulin. Also, for those who have people that are in Manhattan that are in hospice situations, I think I talked to you about when my mother was actually in a home, not a home, a rehab. And remember, I just happened to be there when the electricity went out, and I was the one who advocated for the ambulance to come get her and bring her to a hospital because they didn't have a backup generator. If you have family members that like a grandmother, an auntie, or somebody in rehab, don't always assume that there's backup generators. I assumed it, but I'm about this life. So I always I think everything's suspect. So if I hear something goes off, I'm going to check on family members. So if indeed that's the case and you have family that's in upper Manhattan or lower Manhattan, even in the Bronx or touching the tip of Brooklyn, I would just if you can, possibly get a chance, if you can, to stop by them. If you have electricity, if you could call, see if everything's okay. Many people are going to be calling and might be overwhelmed, but I'm just saying, check on your family members that are in those hospice situations, because it's very detrimental whenever electricity goes down, and you cannot assume that generators work. People assume generators work in big hospice places until they go and find out that they're not working, because a lot of times they may not check or service them. So I would just ask that you be proactive in making sure granny or auntie, whoever is in that situation, is checked on, just to make sure. It isn't anything wrong with you just making sure everything's all good in the hood. am in Tucson, Arizona, and with a huge, wait, why can't I read the whole comment? This is ridiculous. You're in Tucson. Hey, Veronica. You're in Tucson, Arizona, and the huge, I can't read the whole comment. We had a power went out with your apartment complex for a bit. Was that today, Veronica? Was that today? Upstate in Beacon is fine. That's perfect. Elf said upstate New York is okay, so that's good for our upper Westchester County and Putnam County and Suffolk County, right? So the Suffolk, upstate Putnam, and Westchester, I think you guys are all good. That's all uptown. Yes, interesting. So that happened. So we have a cyber. Okay, so the intel that I got, let me tell you about the outside intel that I got. The intel that I got is an outside source. This is a tester cyber attack. Now, I loved how Rohan said this is a beta tester, meaning they're testing the system. So I personally know, this is my personal opinion, it's just an opinion from what I heard so far from somebody who is really vetted and is about this life, that this was from an outer source. They don't know exactly where. They know it was from an outside country that was kicking in because it was there was pulses coming through the electrical lines, I think yesterday or the day before. People were getting pulses, like lights flickering and things like that. So it was testing it. So today is when it actually affected the lines. So that being said, there isn't anything to fear. Preparation is your best friend. Flashlights, maps, keep the children close to you. If they don't have to go anywhere when electricity's out, keep, because, you get people who like to watch the movie Purge and they think it's about a party outside right now. Keep your little ones in or close by, because whenever there's blackouts, all the demons and archons and all the empty seaters start getting, activated, and and the full moon is coming close too. So that doesn't help. Okay. So just watch your children. The full moon, remember we got that black moon coming. You don't know what kind of demons are in people right now. People are drinking malt liquor right now. For all you malt liquor drinkers, for all you 40 drinkers drinking malt liquor, you're the problem right now because they're the ones that like to pop it off. Keep away from those who like to drink malt liquor because they got all kinds of demons attached to them right now. And a blackout will just exacerbate. The demons get happy at this point and they think it's like Purge 20,000. So keep your children next to you. Keep your families close. Yeah. Oh, July 31st is the black moon. Okay. So I'm a little, wait, the full moon is, isn't the full moon I thought the full moon was on the 16th. Am I incorrect? Oh, the lunar eclipse. Oh, Lord. I'm all off. I'm in another country. Okay, so the lunar eclipse is the 16th, and the black moon is actually so we have a lunar eclipse. So we're already in eclipse. Okay, so this is a lot of energy coming in. This could be a pulsating from portals that are about to be open. Like I said, just make sure you keep everybody close. Hide your kids, hide your wives. Remember Lincoln Park, everything's going to pop off in here. That guy made a lot of money just on that. I remember him. He was hilarious. Yeah, we're 3 days away. Lunar eclipse, remember, that's powerful. That's a lot of emotions. Oh, there's a lot of, remember with the solar eclipse, I felt it and I was leaving Brazil during the solar eclipse. Now I'm here in the States during the lunar eclipse. Now, mind you, the lunar eclipse is going to have a lot of ebbs and flows coming in. It's another portal. And different beings kind of enter and exit during that portaling time. So, like I said, this blackout it's probably very temporary. I wouldn't worry about it. But whenever you get preamps like this, you take note. You make sure that you pony up with yourself because you never know what kind of test this is for. And you just make sure you have things placed strategically around the house, a little bit of cash. Make sure your gas tank is at least half or at least 3/4 to a full tank. Make sure that you have phone numbers written down. Many of us have come from a generation. I remember having phone books, black books. Remember your little black books? We used to have our little phone books. So make sure you have your phone books with numbers written down. Babylon, I said Babylon is falling. It's falling as soon as nature not got locked up. Nature Knot is still in the Nicaragua jail, so I think the planet is doing better regardless of anything. We've gotten one diabolical reptilian off of the roads, so he isn't able to violate anybody else, not even poop on trees anymore. Your husband passed away. Oh, I'm so sorry. Wait. Your husband passed away the 16th of July, 1992, age 30. You're feeling something big. I'm sorry, Judith. Rest in power to your beautiful husband. It could be, yeah, something big. That's July 16th is my Nazi's birthday. You know that, right? I'm hoping he ends up, flying out into another dimension so he isn't here to harm any more humans on this planet. Big up to the Nazi. It's his birthday. Obviously, he won't get a happy birthday from me. He's dating a draconian, so that's already his payback. His payback is the person he's with. Your ex is a Cancer too. Woo. Let me explain something. Cancers are my handlers. So I know when a Cancer, because Cancers are attracted to me like there is no tomorrow. I avoid dating any Cancers because Cancers will be so cool with me, but they will try to keep my world limited. Big up to all the Cancers. It's Cancer season. This is just to my Cancer handlers. All of you Cancers, I'm not talking about you beautiful crabs. Get your shells all pretty. Go put your trinkets in there because you're about to have to dive in your shell because the world's going to look a little dirty for a minute. Let's see. So, like I said, write your numbers, phone numbers down. Make sure you're proactive. Gas tanks, phone numbers. Make sure if you have little ones. I also told you before from many prepper videos, you know how I talk about it. The little ones, if you have little ones from 12 and under or 13 and under, especially females, you should have whistles or howlers on them. I always tell you, if you don't know what a howler is, you can go to Dick's or any outdoor store and you could get a howler. Howler is like a whistle that doesn't make it loud. It's like a weird sound and you can hear anybody over a crowd. So it's always nice if you have little people or even your grandmother who's real slow or anybody. It's good to have a howler. It's great for crowd to find anybody in the crowd. So I always say it's only like, I think howlers were like $2.50 back in the days. I don't know how much they are now because, I've been a prepper for over 15 years now. So I've had these things since before, as soon as my children, before they were born, I already had everything intact. And then when they were born, I was already obsessing with it. So have a howler. If you don't have one, and you survive the blackout, just get one just to have in the house. It doesn't hurt. Okay. And that's it. And you just stake out, just chill out. There isn't any reason for anybody to go out during a blackout. And many of you are smart enough, if you're in Manhattan or if you're in California, whenever it's a blackout, the demons come out. All the archons are popping out of bodies. All the overlay grays are like glitching out. I mean, all the low field reptilians are getting ready to feed and frenzy. So there isn't anything good for you out during the blackout. Stay your behinds at home. Mind your business. Keep your children close. If you have teenage children, there isn't any reason why they need to go to their friend's house and hang out on the porch. There's no good, okay? So just be proactive during this time. And again, if this is a beta test means there's a big thing coming. So it means there's testing the system to see how weak and how much they can infiltrate it. If that is the case, that means it's a test for something bigger. So if this is a test, then you should pass the test. Have yourself in alignment, chill out. And this is the time you're going to just relax. Nobody's really, let's see, your dad. Okay, let me read this comment. Your dad is a Cancer as well, Veronica. Oh, he's a Cancer. Oh, you have another Cancer. Listen, Cancer's not, I used to think Cancers were passive. Cancers are aggressive. Y'all Cancers aren't passive at all. Paula was a Cancer. She was like a G.I. Jane. I was like, Wendy Williams is a Cancer. My ex-Nazi was a Cancer. There's a lot of Cancers I know, and they're not passive. They're really quite controlling. Yeah, I don't know any Cancer. And And yeah, cancers, they're aggressive. They're not passive. It's interesting. Yeah, I've never seen. I used to think that when I was younger, but I remember, unfortunately, all my handlers have been cancers, and all they do is try to control a triple Sag. It will drive them insane. Leos just like to be in the forefront. Leos are cool. But you got to let Leos shine. Leos will be very good supportive people until they feel like someone else is taking their shine. Leos are cool until they feel like they can't have the limelight. Then they're going to have a problem with you. Should we have an emergency group number? We should. You know what? I used to have the 1-800 number. I probably should look for it again and just place it in here. A lot of the Nistas, when I did the kind of like the bringing fertility back online, when a lot of us got pregnant, all of us got pregnant from that beautiful fertility ritual we did 2 years. It was like a year ago, right? So we all used the phone line, and a lot of the mamas, I let them use it to talk to each other during the time, like just to, if I wasn't online, they would just talk to each other. So I can see if I can get the 1-800 number again, and you guys could just kind of just collectively talk to each other. Just be careful, because if I put it online, you got trolls on here too. So if you hear breathing on there, it's one of the crazies. Birthday in 2 days. Oh, wait. Whose birthday? It's your birthday? It's 2 days before the black moon? Oh, snap. You better celebrate. Just make sure you mute everything. You don't want to bring anything on you or towards you, but enjoy yourself. That's a big time. Yes, you remember you got her pregnant. Oh yes, a lot of people got pregnant, including myself. So a lot of people were pregnant from that wonderful fertility ritual we did a couple years ago. Some people missed it, but it was amazing. I think out of how many participants? I think we had close to 30 participants. No, maybe 20 to 30. And out of it, nearly over half were pregnant. And I think almost everyone gave birth already. So it was beautiful, and it was successful. So congratulations to anyone who gave birth to those beautiful babies. I know. We're about this life. Listen, I was telling everyone we were going to bring masterful babies on the earth, and we certainly did. And there were people who weren't even participating who actually observed the fertility ritual, and they got pregnant. Isn't that crazy? So people who didn't even want to participate got pregnant from just observing it. Yeah. It was beautiful. So anyway, for the blackouts, everyone stay safe. Zero purging. Keep the babies and young people close. Mamas and daddies and aunties and abuelas. Keep the teenagers in the house during blackouts. There isn't any good that happens during blackout. I didn't realize that there was a connection to a blackout that happened 42 years ago on the same day in July in 1977. That means something. There isn't any chance to that. Keep everybody close. Make sure, prepping 101, have just water in the house, gas, phone numbers written down. Make sure that abuela, nana, and papa are checked on at any of these hospice centers, because listen, I'm the type of person, I'm going to bring them home and make some manual oxygen if they're somewhere where they require oxygen. I don't trust a lot of these places, because a lot of elderly people end up dying or getting really, really sick from being in these places, because they can't possibly keep up with, especially if they require some sort of oxygen or something, that requires electricity. So always check on your family members. And other than that, chill out. There isn't anything. Cyberattack is just a cyber attack. The only time it really affects you is when the crazies come out. And if you're indoors and you have your triple, especially in New York, you got the triple lock, you got that bolt in your door, you've got that, that stick. Anybody live in Washington Heights? The Dominicanos, like you go to Dominicanos in Washington Heights, they always have like that stick, that steel stick that sticks on the door. So no policia can get in, nobody. So Just keep your door straight up, locked, and chill. Enjoy Netflix for as long as you have electricity and try to keep your phones charged. There isn't any reason why your phones should not be fully charged during anything like this. A lot of people are getting electricity back, so I feel like it isn't going to be much longer. And if you can't get cash, when you can, this is just a test. Whenever it's a test, make sure you pass it and make sure that the next time if something like this happens, it's all good in the hood. Okay. So for anyone who's on the IG, just touch base. We like to know everybody's okay. The IG crew, everybody's kind of checking in. So if you are okay, if you want to check in on the IG page, just let us know where you are, uptown, downtown. Let us know if anything's working or not working. That's always good because it keeps everybody kind of up to date on what's going on. Keep safe, keep aware, and keep vigilant. So I'm not going to keep you guys late because this is my late night. I was actually watching some Netflix, and the twin flame is heading over here late after a game, so I'm gonna be twinning with my twin this evening. So hopefully me and my twin can watch some Netflix. I'm gonna probably be too tired to watch Netflix after that, but everything should be okay. All right, Kay, make sure you're comfortable, mama, because you have a little baby in your tummy. You got to be comfortable, but you're not anywhere up here. I don't think you're going to be affected by that. Anybody else? Yes. Everybody we're sending protective energies. We just did a beautiful shield. Everything is amazing. We have the 16th coming in with the moon. Make your intent actually the best intent for a lunar eclipse, to keep it real. The best intent. Oh, matter of fact, we should do you want to do a massive purge, getting rid of things we don't want. We should probably do something on the 16th on the lunar eclipse, because you can get rid of things. You can actually sever ties with diabolical ones. Maybe we should do something major, because when you do something collectively, it's stronger. So, okay, family, write down your intent of the things that you aren't in alignment with. Make sure to leave out negations. Make sure you use 0 words of no, negative, never. Take those out and just say what you want. So say, I want to rid of those things that aren't for my highest and greatest good. I want to sever ties with the diabolical narcissist who keeps harassing me for the last 20 years and he won't leave me alone and he thinks I'm his. Purge him. We'll do it on the 16th. It'll be fun. And if we'll do it collectively, it'll probably work even better. So let's find an hour to work and do it. Let's do a little purge on the 16th. Why not? Listen, this is what we're talking about. Let's be the change we want to see in the world. Let's do it. Let's use something that some people will think is negative, a lunar eclipse, and let's use it to purge and clear and sever anything that isn't for our highest and greatest good. So sorry for all those severing ties. I'm sorry. We're going to have to do it. If you want to get rid of your narcissist, this is the time to do it. If you want to have that boss who keeps harassing you, who always tells you that your work is less than up to par, even though they're mediocre in their own work, you could sever ties at this point. This is the time to write the spell. Because remember, writing is spelling, okay? So write it down, family. I always like to do it 3 times. We'll come collectively on the 16th. I'll set it all up and we'll do a massive purge. Let's rid ourselves of the beings that aren't here for our highest and greatest good. Wait, let's see. Cher says 16th hour is 4 p.m. Ooh, 4 p.m. Eastern? Aw, thank you, Abraham. Intention, give power back to New Yorkers from elite. Ah, very nice. Give the power back. That's right. Power back to the New Yorkers. I think you're correct. Let's do the 16th hour. Why not? So Cher says we should do the 16th hour because it's the 16th and that's 4 p.m. We could probably, does everyone think that's okay? 222? They've spelled themselves, Fleur. Power has been restored. Oh, this is fantastic news. Fantastic news. I'm grateful to hear this. 222, that's why we had 222 at one point. Okay, I think the 4 is always good. For some reason, the 5 was sitting well too. So let's come collectively on the 16th. We'll do a massive purge, or a little purge on our page, because we collectively come together. It just exasperates the energy. Remember to purge the things we need for purging. For those who require tools, black candles are good for muting and blocking and absorbing. Okay, so purging. Okay, white candles are for purity and clearing. Okay, if you want to get rid of things and send them back to sender, it's black and red. Triple reversibles, send the suckers back to those devils who sent something to you. Okay, so you can set up your little altars. Many of you have little altars or little tables. Remember, we're in the energy of Mami Wata, Yamiya, the mermaid Ariel. So you can use Ariel right now because we're in her frequency. She's verbally being spoken out. Her presence is actually being, emitted all over. So water also helps in clearing. Okay, so utilize things on your little table for your clearing on this lunar eclipse. Okay, and we're going to rid of things, including the diabolical ones who aren't here for the prosperity and healthiness of our planet. And personally, anyone who is causing you to be in disharmony and imbalance. Okay, that's fair. You never want to hurt anyone. You only want to come from a state of balance. You only try to restore balance, and that's all you require. Okay. So 16th, it looks like we'll set that up. That'll be fun. What's the 16th? What day is that? What is today? Today's the 14th already. So 14th, oh, it's a Tuesday. Tuesday. What's the energy of the Tuesday? Is that Mars? Is Mars on Tuesday? Can someone tell me? Tuesday, is that Mars Day? What planet is on Tuesday? Because Mars is also a warrior planet. Is it Mars? Mars is Tuesday. Okay, it is Mars. Okay. Okay. So Mars is the planet of war. So we can actually bring our swords out and sever ties. Cut that sucker off. Any cords that you need to rid of, this is the day to do it, family. The 16th. Take those swords, those athames, cut those suckers off and say, I rebuke you. Be like the Christians. I rebuke you. I send you back to the hells that you came from, the cold, distant land that you came from. Send them back. Use the water. Use the water and do some ceremonies and start spitting out. I rebuke you. I know many diabolical narcissists are shivering in their skins right now. Oh, oh. Anyway, I'm wishing everyone electricity. I'll play games all day. The color is red on Mars. Okay, so that lets you know that the energy is red. Make sure that you know Mars is represented on Tuesday. You always know what planet is represented on which day. And we're purging and we're cutting and we're severing ties of things that are not for our highest and greatest good. So we're ridding, we're purging, we're getting rid of. So utilize Tuesday's energy. Think of the things that you desire to clear in order to bring balance back into your life. So it could be people, places, and things, or it could be aspects of yourself that aren't needed anymore. So you can actually release things that aren't necessary or incorporate them and make them more sound in you. Okay, but really it's about releasing. It's going to be a quantum leap. Froggies. What are the negated words? Okay, negated words are no, never, don't, can't. Well, no, not can't, because can't is not the. It's all the no's. So in the words that you utilize to do anything, you only use words of what you desire, okay, what you want, as opposed to what you aren't in alignment with. So if you say something, you'll say, than you're saying you don't want to do something, or do not want something, you'll say, I want more balance. I want to be free and clear of anything that isn't, notice I use isn't, in my highest and greatest good. Stay away from the negated words because they don't exist. And what happens is when you use them, they're null and void. So that the next word after it, or whatever you said you weren't aligned with, is what you end up getting. So just be mindful of that. All right. So I guess, family, I'm going to see you on Tuesday. Write down your beautiful things. Write it in red, because remember, red is for Tuesday. And start envisioning that person, that energy, something that isn't in alignment with you. See it leaving. Start to manifest that now. See it as you're writing the spelling it. Okay? And then Tuesday we'll leave it. We should actually have a fire pit. Maybe you should get your fire on. Burn it. We're going to have to sever ties on Tuesday, and we have the lunar eclipse to help us do it. This is the biggest, this is probably something. This is like a quantum leap of of purge. All right, family. So burn bay leaves. We have some good advice on here. We have some master metaphysicians and occultists on here who do this quite regularly. So write your intention and burn the bay leaf. Ah, thank you. That's fantastic. Okay. Thank you, love. Okay. Does everyone hear that? Banish the narcissistic demonic energies. I hear that. We're going to rid ourselves. Dragon's blood is used in usually like spelling. It does. Use those English words, spells in your favor. Ah, very good. Joanna's giving advice. They are spells. Unspell yours words, Christina says. Very good. See, we have some wonderful, energetic witches, Wiccans, Urobans, Voodoons, Hoodoons, Obians, Santerians, Jemigians, you know what I mean? Master Moors, we have a fantastic arrangement of some amazing sea stars on here who do this quite lovely and have mastered the tool aspect of utilizing in their mantras or in their rituals. Okay. So anyway, family, I'm gonna go. I gotta get ready to go to. I gotta get ready to watch Netflix, but my twin flame is on his way, so I'm gonna go. Everyone, stay safe, and if you want to check in on Instagram, just check in. If you feel like anything's going on, something happened differently, just let the family know on my Instagram on the page. Stay alert, stay well, stay relaxed, and we will reconvene on Tuesday. I love you, family. All right, bye, peace.